This show is clean.
Here we go.
Pretty much.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 767. Hi, it's Mike Matthews broadcasting from the last place on earth located somewhere in PodCastro Valley, California. Today, Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the Engineer, plus it's the return of the much-loved feature News Random, where we hear some interesting stories about our world that I have pulled from various newspapers that line your bird's cage. And what about Snapchat?
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I never use it, but there is an interesting story about that.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
That we'll get to in a moment or two. Valentino and Bison Bentley went to a Dairy Queen and they got hacked into presently, and then they hacked up their food. It's something that happened on this show, and my God, I'm so lewd with the clothes I wear.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Like this shirt. It's barely anything. I'm going to rip it off right now. My lewd behavior.
Mike's
Well, here we go.
Daily
I think that
Podcast.
Dairy Queen is fun when you're a kid.
Yeah!
And it's the middle of summer and you're in the middle of the Middle West. And that's a fun place to go, and you get your shake, and you hang out with your friends, and you go, I love America. Look who just walked in.
Hello, my Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, gift shop supervisor. What's wrong with loving America?
No, you should love America. Be patriotic, but watch out, because somebody hacked into Dairy Queen's database and stole a bunch of credit card information.
Oh my God, that's like terrible.
Yeah. And this is something that is interesting. You know, we've been talking about Westover Winery, which is near us here in PodCastro Valley, California. And I initially, so the big controversy is some government agency, and I always forget what it is, the DIR, Department of Industrial Relations, basically fined them $100,000 because they had people working there that were volunteers and getting paid nothing. I guess according to the Castro Valley Forum, they were being paid with the education of making wine. It was like an internship program. And initially I was upset because I was like, this is crazy. This is another one of these local Bay Area government organizations that are so stupid and heavy-handed and hurt the good people like me, where I've gotten like fined for walking my dog and for not making a 7-minute stop at a stop sign. Okay, I stopped like 7/7 of a second. So the letters that are against what happened at Westover Winery, against the Department of Industrial Relations for what they did, and those people that are against Westover Winery for not paying their volunteers, the letters, I love the Castro Valley Forum, and just about everybody I know that reads this wonderful free newspaper, they all love the letters that are in the back because there are some lively discussions here in PodCastro Valley. And this one person who goes by the name of Ken Tatum was very pro-Westover Winery and said, I strongly resent the continued false and misleading statements by the Department of Industrial Relations. They said in a statement that an on-site inspection of the winery revealed a workforce of over 20 people helping to operate the business. It says, I was one of the volunteers at the winery. The strong arm and misleading remarks by the Department of Industrial Relations makes it seem that there are more than 20 people slaving at this winery. It's far from the truth. The volunteers, including myself, only went to the winery about once a week, or actually once every 7 weeks, Ken Tatum says, to learn and have fun. We were not working. I felt like I should pay the winery for all the fun and knowledge I gained. Let's hear it for wine. I mean, it's pretty good stuff. The winery's only open 2 days per week, noon to 5 p.m., and that's it. Rarely could there be found more than 2 people at a time at the winery. And I must say, if I may interject here, that is pretty difficult to get to this winery. You got to drive from PodCastro Valley. You got to go on this mountain road through this valley. It takes a while to get there, and it's a 2-lane road. it's zigzaggy, and you're constantly getting behind someone who's driving slow, like me. And it's really tough to get to this place. So maybe that's why a lot of people don't go there. Ken goes on to say the story is gaining popularity all over the state. This is because the Department of Industrial Relations levied an out-of-line fine and acted in an overly aggressive manner. This was demonstrated by stories on Channel 7, KGO Radio, The Chronicle, AM 760 in San Diego, and many other media outlets, including a broadcast from a TV station as far away as New York City, all in support of the winery. If you feel as outraged as I do, please contact your local state assemblyman or senator to express your support of our local winery, which we are losing, says Ken Tatum. Now, Barbara Dees, however, has the opposite view. And I kind of agree with Barbara here. She says, after reading the article about Westover Winery, I am simply floored. In what universe is it okay for a nonprofit business to make money off of volunteer labor? Of course, the fine is big. It's meant to make business owners think twice about breaking the law. As a responsible business owner, it's up to you to know the labor laws. You really don't get that the people who buy your wines need paying, not volunteering jobs? I cannot believe Westover has the gall to complain. I applied the Department of Industrial Relations in this case. Business owners are vital to our community. They provide goods, services, and paying jobs. I could not and won't support a business that exploits workers and taxpayers. Westover Winery should be ashamed of themselves. And being someone that had to volunteer a lot of my time to get into the business of radio, i.e. interning, I have to agree with Barbara Dees on this point. What do you think about this? Email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. We read your comments on the section emails from email. Oh, look who else just walked in. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman.
And this is John Deere, the engineer. Mike, tell us the story about Snapchat now.
Yeah, please don't tell us that Snapchat photos of naked people have been leaked online. Please don't tell us that. Please don't tell us, please. Okay, well, this story, according to Reuters, says that Snapchat blaming third-party apps for leaking nude pictures online. Oh, no! Don't worry, Floyd. They're probably not of you. Yeah, okay, whatever. I'm Floyd the Floorman. Well, mobile messaging company Snapchat blamed third-party software apps for possible security lapses that may have led to its users' private photos being at risk of online publication by hackers. A file containing at least 100,000 Snapchat photos has been collected by hackers who were preparing to publish them online. Snapchat lets users send photos and videos that disappear in seconds. So, of course, a lot of people use that to show their naked body pieces. The company said in an emailed statement, we can confirm that Snapchat servers were never breached and were not the source of these leaks. Users were allegedly victimized by their use of third-party apps to send and receive snaps, a practice that we expressly prohibit in our terms of use, precisely because they compromise our user security. A Snapchat representative noted that the company's statement was based on reports of leaked photos and that it could not verify whether hackers had breached third-party software containing stolen Snapchat photos. Snapchat, one of a crop of new apps that compete with Twitter and Facebook, is popular among teenagers. Some media reports raised concern that the hackers' file could contain nude selfie pictures of teens who expected the photos to be deleted. Leaked photos could also become problematic for Snapchat, which has faced criticism over privacy practices. It's now raising money in a funding round that would give it a $10 billion valuation. But this is interesting. Tal Klein, a vice president at cloud security firm Adallam, said he could not rule out that the possibility this entire incident was a hoax. He noted that some of the purported Snapchat photos posted on 4chan, where a lot of the nude photos of famous celebrities like Jennifer Lawrence and Kate Upton ended up, had digital signatures that matched his firm's database of stolen images previously circulated online, and that suggests the whole thing could be fictitious, or that supposed cache of new photos was a collection of previously stolen Snapchat images that was aggregated by hackers. Back in May, Snapchat settled charges with U.S. regulators, accusing it of deceiving customers by promising that photos on its service disappeared forever. According to the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, photos sent on Snapchat could be saved using several methods. I never heard that. Did you hear that, John Deere?
Yeah. But I didn't think that was a problem.
You didn't think that nude pictures of us getting on the internet would be a problem?
No. I'm proud of my body.
I'm not. Because I'm Floyd the Floorman. Floyd. Show some confidence, man. All right. So what do you think about this whole thing? Email me, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST-767-News. We read your comments, like I said, on emails from email. And also email me there if you'd like to be a guest on the show, or if you'd like to sponsor the show, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. And there's the website, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com, where we've got links to where to listen to the show in iTunes. Subscribe to the show in iTunes, and you can rate and comment on the show there. That helps our ranking if you do that. Also, like the show on Facebook, like the Facebook page. And when I post a new show, share it with your friends. More people find out about us that way, too. Another great way to support the show is through the Amazon deal of the day that we got at the website, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Click on that and buy something at a great discount, and that helps us out. And if you buy anything through Amazon, make sure to go through the website, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. There's also links to where to find us on Twitter, Tumblr, SoundCloud, Stitcher. We're not on Snapchat, but we're on Spreaker, Mixcloud, Podomatic, and Yelp. Oh, we also got the blog, the daily podcast picture, and all my past interviews right there at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com.
News Random.
Ah, yes, another exciting installment of News Random. We got some interesting stories here, and the first one has to do with a princess woman person. Recently named Fast Company magazine's #1 most creative person in business is Princess Rima bint Bandar Al Saud, CEO of Saudi Arabian luxury retailer Alpha International. She says, "You cannot have half of your population not working." She is bringing meaningful change to one of the world's least progressive cultures. She says the second a woman is responsible for her own finances, she'll want to explore more of the world for herself and become less dependent. Over the past 2 years, Princess Rima has been making bold moves toward women's empowerment. At Riyadh's Harvey Nichols department store, she has ousted several dozen experienced salesmen to make room for the same number of female clerks. It's a controversial, highly unusual step in a country where women have traditionally not interacted with men outside of the home at all, much less in service positions. Saudi traditionalists consider it a radical act, but it was an act born of compromise. In recent years, the government has issued a series of decrees expanding job opportunities for women within retail, including banning men from working in lingerie and cosmetic shops that serve female-only clientele. Before then, stores that employed women were often closed down by the religious police who enforce Sharia law. New regulations allow for increased female employment while adhering to some of the previous standards. Separate break rooms and specified ratios of women to men in any given space, for instance. Our society tends to change a bit slower than others, Princess Rima says. We have to explain to people that it's evolution, not westernization. Born in Riyadh, Princess Rima grew up in Washington, D.C., where her father, Prince Bandar bin Sultan, served as Saudi Arabia's ambassador in the United States. He is a grandson of Saudi Arabia's founder. She majored in museum studies at George Washington University, and after graduation spent a few years working at l'Institut du Monde Arabe in Paris. And the Field Museum in Chicago, helping oversee her mother's extensive art collection. When the collection returned to Saudi Arabia in 2008, Princess Rima came home as well. She'd been